Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Tom Vasel.
Hey everyone, I'm Clara Barker.
Clara's joining us today for 5 more great games. This is where I go through all the games that didn't make my top 100, but they're so good, that I have to talk about them because, let me see now. I think I've just breached 7,000 games played or something like that. So these would be in the top minuscule percentage of this.
Wow.
All I know, well, before we jump into that, Clara, welcome to the show. Why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do with board games?
Yeah, thanks. So, I'm Clara, and I'm actually a scientist in day, but then I play board games and Dungeons and Dragons, and I've been contributing to Board Game Breakfast for a while. And on my YouTube channel, I do science, but I also sometimes I review board games, and sometimes I contribute on Dungeons and Dragons stuff or painting minis.
Scientist, and these games are about the most non-scientific, well, maybe one of them could be science-oriented at all. All I know is that Clara's played at least one, maybe all 5, I don't know, I'm going to guess, and if I don't, and if Clara hasn't played them, then it's my job to convince you to do so or not. Maybe, I don't know, I might say I'm the only person on earth who likes this. We have a very similar vibe to our games today, with one exception. So let's just jump right into this. Where we go? Here we go.
I did notice a theme.
Yeah, you know why this theme is? It's because when I'm ranking games that are really similar in how they feel are going to be pushed together. Like even in my top 100, for a while, Apples and Time's Up, my 2 favorite party games were there. I'm like, well, you tend to think of them together. Well, this is our first one. Now, here's the biggest problem with concept. Concept is the loosest definition of a game I think there is. In the sense that, yes, you are playing a quote-unquote game, but other than the very first time I played it, I have never kept score. We just have somebody do this. It's basically 20 questions. 20 questions with a bunch of pictures, and you're just putting these tokens on pictures. You can't talk at all, and everybody is trying to guess those. Now, this is the one that's the most science-y to me, so I'm going to say you have played it.
I have played it, yeah. It's a really good game for my youth group. So I take it to the youth groups that I run, or when I was running them. And yeah, it's great because people can just join in. Yeah, we never keep score. It's just, like you say, 20 questions. And so if new young people come in, they can just join the game and meet the group. And it's just really good fun in that regard. It's probably not a game I'd play outside of the youth group too much, but it's really good for that sort of setting.
The main way I play this now is with the internet, because I'll just put the camera on the board and do it, and then people guess.
That's a really good idea. I hadn't thought of that, yeah.
Because that's really what it is. I just think you can do some clever things as the clue giver. You can, because you have, if you look at this picture here, you see a question mark, and that's the main spot, but you can put other tokens of colors, and that's like a side thing. It's not what you're actually trying to get people to guess. They also have some really weird things to guess here, like trying to get people to guess hungry like the wolf. That's way more difficult than you might think. And you might think it's difficult, and it's even more difficult than that.
Yeah, and apparently my brain doesn't work like a lot of other people, so my clues are obvious to me, but they don't mean anything to anyone else. It's the same with other games like Dixit. It's just, I thought this was obvious. Why is it not?
All right, now we're jumping to Flick 'em Up. Flick 'em Up is a flicking Western game, and in this game, you are flicking discs at the other cowboys. You set up like a little cowboy terrain. I'm going to try to avoid this picture with the cat. There we go. This is exactly what the game looks like. You set it up on a table. I love the Wild West theme of this. And my guess here is that you have not played this, if only because it's a heavy game. I mean, physically heavy. And so I don't think it's sold a lot of places, so a lot of people don't have it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not really one for flicking games, but this one actually I would like to try. I would like to play, but it's not one that I want to buy. It's not. I don't know. I can't imagine adding it to my collection.
You know what? I don't even know if I would recommend people add it to their collection as much as if you can play it at a con. This is the kind of thing you would do there. As you can see, and you mentioned youth group. This is also great for that. Because what's the best thing about this game is that it's a team versus team activity. And that's, man, I love games where when you do something, a bunch of people cheer for you because they're on your team and they're hoping you do well.
Yeah, it seems like I remember when I was younger we used to play Sabutio. I don't know whether that's a game that you've played, but it's a really similar vibe, only that was soccer. And
yes, I do know what you're talking about now. Yes. Yeah, I like that concept a lot.
Although this is a way better theme. Way better theme. It's yeah, I should try this, but like you say, I think it's definitely one for conferences. But yeah, now you said it about youth groups, I'm like, ooh, maybe. Trouble is, I've got to carry it there then.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. All right, SpyFall. So yeah, you can see, folks, we have a lot of party game type things here. SpyFall is a game in which everyone knows what location they're at. You have a bunch of packs of cards. Then you hand out a card to everybody, but one of the cards is a spy. And these are not the cards. Here's the cards from the game. One person's a spy. They don't know which location they're at, and everyone's asking each other questions. It can be really hilarious. It's a really fast game. It's a maximum of 8 minutes each game. And while the theme doesn't make any sense, why would the spy not know where they were? I find this to be incredibly entertaining. No, you haven't played it.
No, you got this one wrong. I have played it. So back in the days when I could visit my game group, it was one that other people had. So again, it's not necessarily a game that I'd buy, but I think it would be fun for youth groups. I have this horrible habit though. So I've done this a few times where I put my arm down on the table and then I lift it up and the card's stuck to my arm. So everyone can see exactly. I just reveal myself, even my traitor in games. I have this habit of just sticking the cards with my roll to my arm. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, good. I'll have to play some social deduction games. I will win. All right. Well,
I'm terrible. I am terrible. I also am prone to fits of giggling as well when I'm
Ooh, I like this. A list of locations. I don't have this. I need to get this printed out and put in my game because that's one of the problems. The game doesn't have a list of locations. But yeah, that's interesting. Great game, folks. Check it out. All right, so now we're going to take a hard left into a very different type of game, and that's the Godfather Corleone's Empire. So now this game, designed by Eric Lang and based loosely on the Godfather. It's more of a mobster game than anything else. Is a mean, cutthroat game where you're cutting deals with other people. It's a bit of area control, and you're trying to get money in this game, but then you're trying to launder that money away, which will score you points at the end of the game. It was pretty popular when it came out, although it's not so. We have a somewhat discount store here in America called Marshall's, and a couple Christmases ago, this was selling there for like $12. So they must have printed quite a few of them. I like this. It's in the vein of his other games like Blood Rage and Rising Sun and things. I think it's almost like, it feels like one of those games. It doesn't seem to have done so well, but would you have played this? Would you have played this? Would you have played this? It's such a good game, I'll say yes.
No, I haven't. And you'd think with those minis that I'd want to try it as well. Weirdly enough, I've not played that many Eric Lang games. The only one I really have played is Dice Masters. I don't know what it is, but Rising Sun and Blood Rage and this, I've just not played them.
Yeah, I really like this one. I don't know what to compare this to because if you haven't played the other ones too, and some people say it's not like Blood Rage, but I mean it's not. They're different games, but I feel like if you like one, you'll like the other. If you like a Euro game but with some viciousness involved. I mean, you definitely are not polite to each other in this game, which would be odd for a mobster game where you are polite. The polite mobster game.
Yeah, why not? Now that you've said it's a kind of Yuri nasty game, I don't know, I'm a bit more interested. I think I shy away from games. I have this impression of myself that I don't like direct confrontation, and so I don't play many games like that. And yet, when I do play them, I enjoy them. So I don't know where that comes from.
That's true. That actually is a good Tom thinks. Games we say we don't like, and yet we still play all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we turned, like I said, hard into The Godfather. Let's go back. This next one is a game that I would imagine most people who watch my channel who've heard of this game have heard of it because of our channel. If only because we are constantly playing this on our live plays. We used to play this every marathon. Tumbling Dice, where the game is really simple. You just roll dice down this board, and then you multiply the number showing on the die times whatever level it's on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how many points you get at the end. And you're trying to knock other people off, but there's also a lot of luck. It's ridiculous. I love it. And I don't think this game has had a wide audience, so I'm going to guess you have not played it.
I haven't played it. And I don't think I've even seen it played, but it's... I have seen videos of it because of the Dice Tower, and actually I think it'd be really good fun to play. I can really imagine it'd be a fun group, especially with children, with young people and youth groups and stuff. I think it'd be really good fun to play.
Yeah, it's so easy to do, right? And I mean, if you look at all these pictures, it just shows a group of people, a group of people, a group of people. And that's really where it's at. I think the game comes with 4 sets of dice. It's one of the easiest games to buy an expansion for it because you just go buy some dice you don't have. I bought some red dice. I bought some green dice. And so I think I have in my copy, there are 20 different colors. And not just 6-sided dice, but I added 8, 10, 20, which makes scoring a bit of a logistical nightmare. But it's so silly. I don't know. I'm always amused. I run a tumbling dice tournament at most conventions I go to. But it seems like it's in and out of print all the time.
You'll have to add some of those tinkling dice that you had yesterday. I mean, you might not be able to read the numbers, but...
Oh, wow, I didn't even think about that. I think we just packaged them up and sent them to somebody who won a gift box from the Dice Tower. I think. I'll have to ask.
That would have been good. But like you say, you couldn't have seen the numbers. You'd have had to paint them over. Yeah, those dice were pretty yesterday. They were definitely shelf dice, not... They were shelf dice. They weren't dice to use, but...
All right, folks, I put a poll up in chat. We're going to give you all a bit to vote on. Which of these games do you like best? So we have Concept, and so we have 2 party games, Concept and SpyFall. We have 2 dexterity/party games, Flick 'em Up and Tumbling Dice. And then we have 1 big grandiose game, The Godfather. So Claire, you and I are both going to guess what people are going to vote on here.
It's a really difficult one.
Well, I think Tumbling Dice won't win. That's my thought because I think not enough people have played that.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't SpyFall had a couple of editions, so it sounds like it's at least being bought enough maybe to have it's be a bit more popular, maybe?
Well, I'm going to let you pick first, and I'll pick a different game than you.
Yeah, I'm going to go for SpyFall.
All right, I'm going to go for Concept because it was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. So that might be enough. All right, let's look. Results. Whew. So it was...
Yeah.
It's close. Concept and then SpyFall as number 2. And I was... Flick 'em Up is actually in last place. But I think that's because Flick 'em Up is so expensive.
Yeah, that can be a big barrier as well. I gotta say, I thought the Godfather's doing better than I thought as well. It's got a number of votes there. Because, like you say,
maybe someone likes...
the game
if you just like the theme, The Godfather.
Yeah. But it's certainly not the Eric Lang game you hear people talking about as much.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. Just like I said in the thing, 5 more great games. Claire, thanks so much for coming on board. If people want to find you on the internet, where would they go?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, Clara Barker. I'm also on Oliver from Don't Be Bored's new Dungeons and Dragons show. So I'm making dungeon tiles in the next video. I'm doing a tutorial on that. So best place to find me is there.
Also, Board Game Breakfast. I'll mention that too.
Oh, and of course, Board Game Breakfast. Goes without saying.
Alrighty, folks. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Come back in just 45 minutes for the new and improved Shoots and Marbles. When I say new and improved, I mean I fixed the scoring, maybe. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
And I'm Clara Barker.
Have fun rolling dice.